Are you overwhelmed by all the different scales and modes? Well, here's the good news. You only really need 2 of them. Hi, my jazz friends all over the world. Sandra Sherman here. Greetings from Austria. You can download the tabs/notation with all the examples from this lesson plus a lot more examples from the link down below in the info box. And now let's get started. Ideally, you want to outline each underlying chord. For example, when you're in the key of C major and your chord is the D minor 7 chord, you want to focus and land on the chord tones of the D minor 7. That D minor 7 is the second scale degree of a C major scale, and the name for it is Dorian. That's a so-called mode. Now you could do that with each of the 7 scale degrees of the major scale or any scale. But here's the secret. You only really need 2 modes for 2 groups of chords. You can basically divide the modes into 2 chord groups. One is the 1 and 6 chord group, and the other one is the 2, 5, 7, 4 group. Okay, let's check the 1-6 group first. So in the key of C major, the first degree would be C major 7, and the 6th degree chord would be an A minor 7. So we have a C major 7 here, and we have one here. Let's use this one because this is already the arpeggio as well. So when I say compatible, I mean you can play each lick that I'm going to show you in a minute. You can play each arpeggio over the other chord that it's compatible with, that is in the same chord group. So C major 7 and A minor 7 are compatible. Now let's verify that. Does this arpeggio, the C major 7, go over A minor? Yes. That's the 3rd of the A minor, the 5th, the flat 7th, and the 9th. The 9th is a cool additional tension tone. That sounds awesome, doesn't it? As long as you don't land on a bass, on the B in the B in the bass. That will clash against that A from the A minor, right? So even with the C, it's the 7th of the C chord, so it's in the basic chord. But if you play the B in the bass, it will clash against that root because it's just a half tone. So you can play this over A minor. Can you do it vice versa? Play an A minor 7 chord or arpeggio, in this case, over C major. Let's check. Here's the arpeggio for A minor 7. A, C, E, G. A, C, E. Okay, A is the 6th of the C. That's a tension, actually. C is the root, E is the 3rd, and G is the 5th. So what you get when you play an A minor 7 over C, you get a C6 chord. That's fine as long, again, as you don't play the A in the bass. Well, you don't want to think too much about it because still then it would be kind of compatible. So really without much further ado, let's check out some licks so you can play the licks I show you both over C major and A minor. If you want to dig deeper into jazz playing, check out my starter packs. I have all different kinds of genres like Latin, jazz, blues. You learn how to do the rhythm comping, you learn how to improvise. There are chord melody packages on my lesson shop. And all the lesson material is included, like the tabs, Guitar Pro tabs, including tabs and notation, backing tracks, and of course the link to the detailed video tutorials. The price on these packages is a no-brainer, so click the link down below in the description box and grab yours now. We start with the C major arpeggio, but with a trick that Charlie Parker used, and that makes you sound instant bebop. It's called octave displacement. We have that C major arpeggio here, as I showed you, but you put that C on top. The rest remains the same, C, E, G, B. So you still have C, E, G, B, but with the C on top. And that jump makes it instant jazz. That's so cool. Now the next thing we're going to be doing is use some chromaticism as well. I take a chord, another chord tone, a scale tone of the C major scale, D, and I chromatically go to that C. Make sure that when you build your own lines, which I encourage you to do, create your own lines, make sure that your chromatic is on the offbeat. 1 and 2 and 3, and it's on the offbeat. And also make a pull off, you know, because that's what you do when the offbeats are accented, so, or stressed, and you hit it a little harder and make a pull off. Now you get that jazz phrasing. Then I repeat that triad. Then I make a chromatic move on the B string from the A to the G. This again is on the offbeat. So we have, that's 2 and 3, so that's the and. Then I go on the G string. Again, the chromatic is on the offbeat, the D sharp. And I land on E and C, which both notes are good for both chords. The C major chord, of course, and also it's in the A minor 7 chord. Here it is at slow tempo. 3, 4. Now for the second lick, I go down here into this playing position, 5th fret, and the taps actually have 5 for all 5 patterns. You have 5 licks for the major and for the minor group. All right, let's start with this one here. I do the same octave thing I did before, but this time I play the C down and the B up. So I play the C major arpeggio, but with an octave displacement. Then I play a D again with the chromatic. We had that up here in the previous pattern. A, and now I play at the end, I play a triad. That E minor triad is included in the C major 7 arpeggio actually. And I land on the E, which is good for the C major, it's the 3rd, and for A minor, it's the 5th. So that's perfect. Here it is at slow tempo. You can help to keep the free video tutorials of this channel running by becoming a member of the channel, and you can do so by clicking the join button right next to the subscribe button, which also grants you access to my mini lessons. You can also say a little thank you by clicking the thanks button and donate a little something. This really helps with the productions of the videos. Thanks a lot. All the remaining chords of the C major scale fit in the 2, 5, 7, 4 group. So let's look at this. We have a D minor 7 up here on the 10th fret. We have the 5 chord of the C major is the G7. Let's play a G9. Look how similar they are. You can see how they are compatible. If I play the G9 with the D in bass, which is the 5th of the G9, it becomes a D minor 6. Same chord. Now the 2 chord, lift your middle finger and add the E string on top, and you have a B half diminished. It's like a G9 chord without the G. Lift your index and add the E on top, but I use different fingers here. That's an F major chord, F major 7. See, you can visually see it in the chords how compatible they are. So I'm a Dorian thinker. I just learned my licks for D Dorian, and I can play them over D minor, over B half diminished, over G7, and over F major 7. They are all compatible. Not 100%, but if you avoid the lower strings to land on the lower strings, then everything is super compatible, right? So you can use the same licks and lines, the same arpeggios, and I encourage you to learn the D minor 7 arpeggio, G7 arpeggio, B half diminished arpeggio, and F major 7 arpeggio, and experiment with playing over all these different chords. So play, for example, the F major or 7 arpeggio over the D minor 7 chord. That gives you D minor 9 sound, right? Play G7 sound over F major 7, etc. So experiment with this. And now let's learn the next lick. So I'm thinking D minor 7 arpeggio here, and I'm in this pattern here of the C major scale, or D Dorian, or G mixolydian, B locrian, F lydian. It's all the same, okay? We start with that arpeggio here, D, F, A, C. Again, I invert this to have a octave displacement. I start with the highest note, and then from the lowest to the top. Then I add in the G, maybe we have a G7, it's always good. Chromatic on the offbeat to the F, D, so that's the first bar. And by the way, you can end all these licks earlier because some of them are longer, 2 bars. If you need just 1 bar, I created the licks so you can end them on at the end of the first bar. So this can be a 1 bar lick also. So, but I continue this with this little Django Reinhardt thing at the end. This fits great over D minor, G, over all what we said before. It's really cool. F is a cool ending note for all 4 chords in this chord group. Okay, so here it is at slow tempo. Now I'm down here again in this D Dorian scale, and I start on the, here's my chord. I just referenced the D minor chord because all the others are compatible. So I'm just thinking D all the time. Chromatic on the one end. And then I see this D minor triad in front of me, and I add the 9th of the D minor. This is really very common. You can end this lick here, but you can continue in the second bar with an enclosure to the F. So I enclose that F by playing a scale tone above, scale tone below, target tone on the beat, and a good ending note. Right? Here it is at slow tempo. Check out the tabs from the info box down below the video. Again, you get 10 licks, 5 for the 1-6 group and 5 for the 2-5-7-4 group. And please give this video a fat thumbs up. It's so important, you know, for the YouTube algorithm, for me as a creator, so my videos get spread. Share the love and the knowledge, and I hope to see you next week. Servus, baba.